Hopefully they'll do some good work and teach more and more people about usury-free living, about how it is possible in this 21st century.
Absolutely, it is. In fact, it's needed. We need to seek solutions instead of continuing on with the problems that are so blatantly obvious. You can't turn blind eyes.
That's right,
stuff
and that's the good thing about all this community currency work is I call it solution-oriented work. So instead of just pointing fingers and blaming somebody else for all our problems, we're actually doing something concretely in our communities where we're making a difference. And one by one, we are making a difference. And moving on to some of those resources, there's a resource out there now called Community Currency Magazine.
Okay.
It's published by Mark Herpel from Michigan, and he does a copy every 2 months. And that website is ccmag.net.
ccmag.net. cc communitycurrencymag.net.
Excellent. And it's a PDF file that you can go and you can read about community currencies news there from all over the world in that resource.
Okay.
And then we have Dan Merchant.
I understand. Yes, you wrote an article for the Agora.
I wrote an article for the Agora National. It's published by Dan Merchant and his friends in Hope, British Columbia, and it's an online publication with also printed copies available. And in talking with Dan, his intention is to make the Agora National a national newspaper, though it's pretty well centered in British Columbia right now. Yeah,
so if we have any printers out there who want to start printing this magazine, it is phenomenal. It's really nice. It's very easy to print out. It looks the presentation of it is just phenomenal.
Actually, we have a copy of it here. So
yes, we do. Here it is. It's right there underneath John.
Yeah, this is a back issue of the Agora National, and
this was issue 2, volume 1. We got. It's just growing quickly. It's only been running for just since 2009. Yeah. But so many great people are contributing to this, and yourself, you wrote one.
The March issue is now out. The March 2010 issue, and I have an article in that March issue of the Agora National, and I do talk about community currency in that article. And Dan Merchant, who publishes this, has said to me it's the intention of the Agora National to find ways to promote barter and trading because they understand how important it is in these economic times.
Absolutely.
So that's another good resource.
We need to find ways to save that federal money so we can pay off our debts so we are not experiencing poverty.
And just another word about the Agora National. It's interesting about the Agora National. It's a new kind of design of a newspaper because they're talking about all kinds of topics that the mainstream newspapers don't talk about. And they're making an online copy, and they're still making printed copies. So it's another niche market, and I find this market growing, where I see the market for the main daily newspapers in decline.
It is in decline.
It's a shift.
People are not reading that stuff anymore because you can feel it that you're getting manipulated.
Yeah, there's a shift in consciousness going on. So I'm encouraging people who have small businesses too, like to look at the Agora National as a place to advertise their businesses because we need to support these kinds of resources because they're doing like-minded things.
Having this in a doctor's office or in a restaurant is key. You know, it's fantastic, and the people would the articles are written with their understanding with. It's a full article. You don't feel like you're only feeling like 1% of the topic. They're actually talking to you about the whole thing. You know, great contributors like Wayne Pronte and Sherry Tenpenny and Cynthia McKinney, the anti-terrorist from the UK. I've actually written my own article too that I hope to submit to them soon.
And since we're talking about resources, I can't help but mention John the Engineer Turmel as a great resource. Certainly John has been one of my best mentors over the years. They
call him John King of the Paupers.
He's got a bunch of nicknames. He's John the Engineer Turmel, he's John King of the Paupers Turmel, he's John Bank Fighter Extraordinaire Turmel.
Activist Extraordinaire.
Those are 3 for sure. And John kind of laughs about this because he was active way back in the late 1970s, early 1980s about money and banking.
I did see it some of
and that was before there was any kind of demonstrations or movements at all.
Yes.
So John kind of sits back now and laughs. He says, yeah, all these people now that show up at these demonstrations by the thousands, okay?
Yeah.
He says, back in the 1980s, I was the lone demonstrator with my sign saying, "Bankers starve, third world babies." That was one of his signs with his messages.
Seriously, bankers starve.
That was his sign. Bankers starve, third world babies. Okay, and he would be the lone demonstrator outside of the the Bilderberg meeting or outside of the meetings where the G8 was meeting or whatever. Anyway, I learned lots from John in the 1980s and 1990s when he was in the Ottawa area. He's now moved down to Brantford, so he's not as local. But this document here is a 1,000 lines of poetry that John wrote about money and banking in the middle 1990s. And it's well written, he's got it rhyming, and the messages are so clear when you read them and when you know what he's talking about. And I've always said, when some of this ideas is if it's put to rap music or slam poetry or some of those ideas,
we have many friends.
There's some people that could do that because that message could be spread around like that.
Most certainly, definitely. Another thing I wanted to mention about John, he's the one behind the LET system.
He's one of the key supporters of the initial LET system in a financial way, because John supported Michael Linton created the software.
Okay.
And when John learned about it, he actually sent him his grandfather's inheritance. When his grandfather passed away, he left John an inheritance.
Okay.
And John sent the total amount of the
development of that software
to the Michael Linton so he could have it for development. Otherwise, it might be still sitting on a shelf.
That's right.
Because Michael Linton didn't have any money to advertise it or promote it, but he had created it. And so now it's all over the world now.
It is. It's been spread around, and we have we can access this system and use it to formulate our own. That's basically the software to help us negotiate and manage this type of interactions, correct?
Yeah.
Now, there's also I've seen him many times, he calls himself the world's only engineer of banking, or banking engineer, and he occasionally will have the LETS system logo on the side of his hat, and he gets in trouble for that. Like, they understand what John's doing, what he's been talking about, and this is why when he goes on CBC, he gets shut down. They clip him down to only 1 minute when he was there for 15 minutes. He has stuff to say. This man has stuff to say. He does have a YouTube channel. I'll plug it there, definitely.
Oh yeah, a YouTube channel. Just look up John King of the Paupers Termel, and if anybody wants to be educated on money and banking, John's clips are all there.
Or you could steal his rhymes too.
Yes, you can do that too.